Hi everyone, my name's Ben Hillier and I'll be your host on this episode. Today we're talking with Ned Narouz, the CEO of Ready to Change, about his work with young people and the findings of the Volunteering and Youth Report. This episode will cover National Standards 5 and 7 of the Volunteering Framework and give you some practical ideas as to how your organisation can meet these standards and strengthen your volunteering practice. Ned, would you like to introduce yourself and give us a brief overview of your work relating to volunteering?
Sure. My name's Ned Narouz, CEO of Ready to Change. It's a youth organisation, and we specialise in addressing youth crime and gang intervention. With work with young people who have challenges of mental health, substance abuse, gang-related involvement, and we just do our best to try and address these concerns and these issues that are affecting our communities today. We have some amazing early intervention wellbeing programs as well that we run in schools. They're 10-week wellbeing programs, and we have some leadership programs that helps transform lives as well.
So tell me a bit about how volunteers are involved in your work.
So volunteers, they're a valuable part of our organisation, or most organisations. We have a lot of volunteers come through TAFE, come through uni, who are studying their community services certificates. We have just community members who we help, with their children, and they want to give back, or they enjoy the work that we do and ask if there's any volunteer opportunities. There's always volunteer opportunities with our org. We train them, we screen them, and we just have them involved with our wellbeing programs, our leadership stuff, and a lot of our one-on-one mentoring services that we provide as well.
And are lots of your volunteers young people or a mix of ages?
It's a mix of ages. So we like to work with, obviously, as you know, the young people who are struggling with youth crime, and what we like to do is we like to give them purpose and hope and opportunities. And the best way to stop young people from doing whatever it is they're doing that they're struggling with is to replace it with something else that they enjoy, that they're going to feel a connection to. So we give them opportunities, and we give them goals, and they enjoy working towards these goals, where we train them up to become young mentors for the younger generation, maybe the primary school age kids. We have volunteers from the age of 17, 18, all the way through.
Fantastic. We often hear from different organisations that young people just aren't interested in volunteering, but our data tells us actually young people really want to volunteer. They're the biggest cohort in New South Wales, in fact. Does this line up with what you've experienced, that the young people you work with are really keen to be involved?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. A lot of young people love a sense of achievement, love a sense of purpose. When they volunteer and they're helping and they're giving back to the community or to others, it gives them a sense of fulfillment. This helps inspire them to take on further education in the community service sector, where they'd love opportunities at a later stage to be employed, either in child-related work or, substance abuse, whatever their past challenges, they've got a passion they can relate to. Definitely. We have many young people helping out at our baseball club every Saturday, and they love, actually from the age of maybe 5 or 6 years old. These kids from our baseball team, they love setting up in the mornings and all the way through, to their parents as well. So
it's really amazing with little kids, isn't it? They just want to jump in and help out.
Yeah, they do. They do. Especially the teens. The teens, we get a lot of interest in teens, especially when we go into juvie to Cobham, and we run our one-on-one mentoring services over there, and we let them know what we do, and we give them opportunities that, post-release, we can do further work with you, help you with education or employment. We have them involved in our community programs, just seeing them take initiative, seeing them take leadership and setting up and taking pride and very proud in what it is they're doing. We can just see that. It's inspiring to see.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for engaging young people as volunteers, like strategies you found for recruitment or anything like that?
The best advice that we can give and that we find is so powerful for young people, for them wanting to get into volunteer roles, the best way that they can get involved is use either past challenges that they've experienced or experiencing, or have heard of a peer that is experienced. Use all those opportunities to help inspire others who may be going through it as well. And the best way to do that is just give up a little bit of your time, have a chat with them, connect with them. It's the easiest way for anyone to connect is relatable stories, relatable challenges. So the best advice we can give is, if you are going through a tough time or have gone through a tough time and not unsure of what to do with it, use your story to help empower and inspire others to become the best version of themselves. Yeah.
And what sort of things do you see as barriers for young people getting involved in volunteering?
I guess barriers would be what they feel like they can contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Some may think, I'm no good, or I'm struggling, or I've struggled, or I don't have qualifications, knowledge. People to give them a start, people to give young people a start as well and opportunities. I know some organisations are, a little bit tighter with the policies and procedures and not as flexible as some. And I guess a lot of them don't even know what volunteering is or how it can provide a sense of fulfillment and purpose, help change, give back.
That leads us neatly into talking about this report that we've done on volunteering and youth, because one of the things we found that kind of dissuades young people from getting involved is their experiences they have with older volunteers and managers, where they tend to either not take the young people seriously and ignore their ideas, or on the flip side, just pile all of the work on them going, oh, you're young, you've got all this time, you can do everything. Have you seen that happen in places you've volunteered?
Yeah, look, I can definitely relate to some of the things you've mentioned there regarding, being younger, maybe not being taken serious. Yeah, I don't want to speak too much on some other orgs. However, I know with our org, we value our volunteers, especially our youth. I know our COO, Free, she has set up and ran a program. It's called YAC, and it is a youth advisory committee. And it's a bunch of youth who, from all walks of life, diverse backgrounds, getting together once a month, putting some ideas together, sharing their ideas on what they feel like is needed for youth programs or youth engagement today, some of the concerns that's out there. Just seeing this group take leadership, seeing them all connect, you wouldn't think the youth. You think these are grown people, and just the passion they have. And these aren't just people who have gone all the way, straight A students. Some are, some aren't. Yeah, it's just amazing to see. So we really value youth volunteering and involvement. We don't pile the work on them, but we do give them responsibilities and take them seriously.
So having that balance of getting them to do something that really does matter, but also giving them a way to give feedback and input.
That's correct, yeah. Well, what's the best way to connect with youth in the community and provide programs in the community is see what works, see what they want. And what better way than having the youth themselves telling you what they want or what they want to see. Best thing for any organisation is recruit, go out there, look for some amazing, passionate volunteers that are youth if you're trying to engage youth in your org.
And from what I've seen of your programs, it sounds like some of the work that you do with sort of at-risk youth can be quite confronting and emotionally draining at times, as much as I'm sure it's extremely rewarding as well. How do you sort of help your volunteers manage this load, I suppose, and how do you manage it yourself?
Yeah, great question. So, the work that we do, we get referrals from other orgs, from families who can't provide a service or struggle to meet the young person's needs or the individual needs. So they call on us. And we like to think that we specialize in youth crime and gang intervention. A lot of our mentors come from very similar past challenges. So we're able to connect. I guess the reason why I bring that up is how do we cope? So the fact that we've overcome these similar past challenges and gone through these past challenges doesn't have so much of a negative impact on us as much as it would of maybe someone who hasn't experienced something like that or is emotionally triggered easily by something like that. We're not easily triggered by the things that happen. Now, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely sad. It's some of the stories are very distressing. Now, we cope through regular checkups with each other. We have dedicated staff that give all of our mentors and volunteers a call once a week, a mental well-being call, just to check in on their well-being, see what they found challenging, see if there was anything that triggered them, and talk through it, or even challenging situations that they were sort of stuck on. And these are great opportunities for us to continue our team training as well. We have monthly team trainings, monthly meetings. But yeah, we have a dedicated team that brings all of our staff and volunteers just to do wellbeing checkups. And if need further, we refer them to counselling services. Yeah, and same as the teens. The teens, they're not, when they volunteer, they're not out by themselves. They're not doing this work by themselves. So we're constantly checking up, checking in, and providing constant training.
And if there was one thing you could change about the way other people look at young people's volunteering, what would it be?
I guess don't put everyone in the basket. You mentioned earlier they're looking at them younger and not taking them seriously. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity, train them. They are valuable. Especially at a young age, they know what's happening these days. Things have changed from when we were their age. So give them a chance. Don't write them off. Even someone is facing some sort of a challenging experience, give them some hope, give them some purpose, offer them a volunteer opportunity, train them.
Well, some of the recommendations we got out of the people we spoke to for our research, I'd be really keen to get your sort of perspective on them. There were some recommendations that we try and make volunteering with young people as flexible and accessible as possible, kind of link it in with education, schools and unis. And as you've sort of mentioned, offer it as sort of a training and skills development pathway for young people. How does that sort of match with the way you see youth volunteering changing?
I think that's absolutely excellent, an amazing idea. The fact that started off in high schools, the amount of kids when we enter high schools that absolutely put their hand up. We've got some career progression, career opportunities. We've got some volunteer opportunities. We've got a great place to start. Now, this is after our 10-week leadership programs that we run in there. The amount of hands that we get raised and people want to get in touch, and even the parents calling us up regarding kids wanting to get involved is amazing. So I think it would be awesome that a school puts forward some sort of initiative where they may run some training around, volunteering or community work. And I guess just start off at the basics, which is, the legal side of things. Start there first, give them some training around those. We have a great program now that we've written up and established volunteer training program, thanks to you guys and the awesome grant that we received. And that inspired so many community members to wanting to volunteer for us, for other organizations. A couple of people in particular, one lady, she actually designed a much needed Family Connect program where it connects families who are going through very similar struggles to connect with each other and bounce off each other. And so she's facilitating that through our org, obviously side by side with our staff. So they're valuable. I'm not sure. Do they have something like that at TAFE at the moment, or do they offer some sort of a volunteer training at TAFE?
I think there's ways to do it. I know we've got a School of Volunteer Management that offers sort of a Cert 1, Cert 2 and Cert 4 at various levels. Yeah, the integration sounds like a good idea.
Definitely. It will be amazing. This will be a good idea to have a talk to some of the youth justice centres. Because we see a lot of people coming out and then unfortunately not receiving external supports that they need. People provide supports they think they need, which has the young person not interested and doesn't want to attend, and unfortunately goes back to doing, or knowing what they know best and then end up back in. But I guess if they provide a training opportunity to young people in the youth justice centres that are locked up at the moment and giving them some sort of hope and purpose where they can have qualifications and skills to hop straight into an organization where they're passionate about, to start volunteering and start that career progress, I guess. Well, there's something that's a promise. There's something that's they're trained, someone that's actually been there, done it, someone who can connect. There's life-changing work right there.
Absolutely. Sounds like a brilliant idea.
I think we might get onto that.
Well, that sort of hits all my set questions. Was there anything else around any of these topics you wanted to make a comment on?
No, just, volunteers in general. We do appreciate them. We appreciate everyone out there giving up time. If I can just share a little story around the volunteering and get into this kind of work, because even ourselves being unfunded org, we still volunteer a good 80%, maybe around 70, 70% of the work that we provide is voluntary still because we're unfunded and we still give up our time to help community members. I just wanted to share a story. Before the community work, I was in sales for about 11 years. Before that, I was in driving myself, just sort of when I got out, my boss, he was my mentor, but he wasn't a mentor, a youth worker. But he helped me. And that's all it took. It just took for that one person just to give up that little bit of time to talk. And he spoke to me in a way where it was real. And it sort of inspired me wanting to do better. And that's what I did. So long story short, doing sales for about 11 years, wanted to get into the community sector. And I wanted to get in the community sector because of my past challenges. And I wasn't sure how to go about it or what to do. Went into PCYC at Blacktown. Spoke to a gentleman there named Tom, and he was with another youth worker called Phil. And I spoke to them about doing some youth work. And I was in a full suit because I was a sales manager at the time. And they looked at me up and down and they're just like, bro, what do you want to do youth work? And I told them my story, my past challenges growing up and what it was like for us. And they never thought that I had gone through something like that based on how I dressed and the work that I was doing. They just said, wow, what a powerful story. Thank you for sharing. And, you can change lives with your story because, you'll be able to connect. Now, being in sales, I sort of had a vision of making money. And the way we were trained is where if you weren't making money, you weren't successful. If you didn't have the best cars, the best houses, you weren't successful. Had to be the best. It was, I asked him a question and I felt really bad afterwards, but I asked him a question. I said, how much do you get paid? And he looked at me and goes, oh, bro, we do this for the love. And so I laughed and I went, oh, yeah, awesome. Like, how much is that? And he looked at me with the most serious face. And this is what hit me, Ben. He goes to me, bro, we do this for the love. One day we'll be blessed with an income. We're volunteers. And that just hit me. That just hit me straight in the heart. And I felt so bad. And I'm like, what is it I've been learning? What have I been doing? And ever since that moment, I knew that community work is what I want to do. Sorry, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. So the fact that I went to the car and I sat there and I thought, the fact that there's people out there giving up their time, making genuine changes in people's lives is inspiring. And I thought, wow, this is what I want to do. And I said, okay, give me 2 weeks. I'll be down. Please teach me what I need to do. Help me get in the field. I'm going to quit my job. I went to the car and I rang my boss straight away. I didn't even go home, think about it or anything. I just gave my boss 2 weeks notice. He was going off at me, going, what's going on? Told him about the new career path. He couldn't understand it. And so I said, you know what? No, screw you. I'm done. I'm quitting today. So I quit on the day. And then the next day I went back into PCYC with plain clothes, like just general, casual clothes. And the boys didn't even recognize me, even though I was there a day before. And I said, boys, I quit. What do I need to do? Tell me. How do I get into it? They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that I quit. But I did. For about 1.5 years, I volunteered, full-time volunteered with the PCYC over at Blacktown and Mount Druitt. And it was the best thing that I ever made, best decision I ever made. There was no amount of money when I was working, earning $140,000 a year in sales, that made me happy than seeing someone else smile or seeing someone else saying, thank you. You really helped my kid become a better person. There's no money that money can buy when you hear those things. So anyone out there who's in the field or working, or you've got a couple of hours to spare a week to volunteer, find something that you're passionate about, somewhere where you can use your skill set at, and find an org near you. Yeah, just give up a little bit of time. You'll gain way more fulfillment through that amount of time that you're volunteering than anything else you're doing. So I appreciate that, Ben. Appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate everyone listening. And
no, I appreciate you sharing that, mate. Like, that is genuinely an inspiring story. Talk about, walking the walk.
Yeah, thank you. And here we are, still volunteering to this day, unfortunately, until one day we'll be blessed with an income.
What a way to look at it as well, because it is so often volunteers giving their time, even in organisations. What can people do if they want to find out more about your work at Ready to Change?
Yeah, so they can head over to our website, ready2change.org.au. or they can give us a call on 043 000 6943, or yeah, they can email us at info at ready the number two change.org.au.
Fantastic. I really appreciate your time today, Ned, and you sharing your expertise on youth volunteering. And I appreciate the listeners joining us today. Thank you very much for your time, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.